a jolly happy soul, with a corncob pipe and a button nose, and 2 eyes made out of coal.
In 1992, an animated short film called The Spirit of Christmas began circulating around the art scene in Boulder, Colorado. The short, which was created by CU alumni Trey Parker and Matt Stone, was then remade 3 years later. This version was released onto the early internet and gained traction there, and soon the idea was planted in Matt and Trey's minds to create a series about the characters. After talks with Fox fell through, partially due to Trey and Matt pushing back against studio notes asking them to cut Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poop, the duo moved to Comedy Central, where the first episode, Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, would be released on August 13th, 1997.
No, Kitty, this is not Put-Pat. No, Kitty, you're bad, Kitty. No, Kitty's not Put-Pat. Mom, Kitty's being a dildo.
South Park was immediately a huge hit, due in part to just how edgy and subversive it was for an animated show. It's easy to forget how rare that was for the time. 2 years before Family Guy and 8 years before Robot Chicken, South Park had to be downright shocking for TV audiences at the time.
I made you eat your parents. Jesus Christ, dude. My mom and dad are dead.
The Simpsons was smartly written and occasionally contained adult material, but for the most part, it fit snugly into the TV PG to TV 14 rating. South Park, on the other hand, consistently pushed the boundaries of good taste and even legality, and would go on to spawn literally hundreds of memes over its near 30 years of airtime. But, as with all things, we have to ask ourselves, how does this relate to Ween? When South Park was in pre-production in the mid-90s, Matt and Trey were also working on a feature film, Orgazmo. The film, which concerns a Mormon missionary who becomes a porn star, was not a major hit by any means, but did go on to be a sort of cult classic among South Park fans. If you like movies like Freddy Got Fingered or The Pick of Destiny, it might be up your alley. The soundtrack for Orgazmo, which featured songs by Primus, Smash Mouth, Robert Smith from The Cure, and the Wu-Tang Clan, also saw Ween contribute an original song called Love. Love is a bouncy pop number, reminiscent of something like Hey There Fancy Pants or Oh My Little Country Cottage. It's a fun song for a fun film, but only the beginning of the band's collaborations with Matt and Trey. Chef Aid, episode 14 of season 2 of South Park, was an episode that was heavily marketed by Comedy Central. In the episode, the faithful South Park Elementary hash slinger chef is sued by Capitalist Records after he reveals that Alanis Morissette had stolen his song, Stinky Britches.
So many songs seem to sound familiar. There are only so many notes to go around. They're not inventing new ones.
I was completely repulsed that the industry would have such disrespect for such a great figure.
To pay for his legal fees, the South Park kids enlist Elton John to organize a musical benefit. Also headlining the show are Ozzy Osbourne, Primus, Meatloaf, Rick James, Joe Strummer from The Clash, Rancid, and of course, Ween, who perform another original song, Homo Rainbow, later renamed The Rainbow on the CD soundtrack to avoid a parental advisory rating.
Now here's Ween!
We're thrilled to be a part of Chef Aid. Chef was the guy who told us to do a country album.
No, dude, that was Steve's idea.
Oh, then who's Chef?
I don't know, dude. I thought you knew him.
Oh, well. Anyways, here's our song.
Many colors in the homo rainbow. Don't be afraid to let your colors shine.
Despite only being a snippet in the episode itself, Homo Rainbow is actually a full song with a killer solo and a verse from Chef himself. The song instantly became a fan favorite, being played live by Ween at least 122 times, according to Brown Bass, and it was also featured on their Live at Stubbs record.
We got a fax from Elton John, and he told us of Chef's problem. It was such a painful day that day. So immediately we helicoptered back to the coast and contacted Chef immediately.
In April of 2000, to promote White Pepper, Ween released a music video for Even If You Don't, which was directed by none other than Trey Parker and Matt Stone. The video depicts Ween performing as a restaurant house band while their girlfriends, socialize with an increasingly absurd amount of people. In my opinion, you can tell the guys liked this video shoot more than any of the ones from Chocolate and Cheese, and I have to chalk that up to the direction. Historically, Gene and Dean did not gel well with their directors, but Trey, Matt, and Ween seem to be operating on the same wavelength here.
We got Matt Stone and Trey Parker to do our video. We definitely feel they're kindred spirits. We get along with them very well.
Yeah, we definitely hit it right off with them when the first time we met them, but they're cool. They operate on a much larger level than Ween, you know. They're extremely, you know, they're deep into the mainstream, which is great because what they do is so subversive, you know. It's really kind of admirable. Really sick, and I think their intentions are bad too, which is even better.
On June 29th, 2000, during the White Pepper Tour, Trey and Matt's band DVDA opened for Ween in LA, as they've allegedly done several times since. And Ween would return the favor, just 22 years later. South Park, the 25th anniversary concert, was an event held on the nights of August 9th and 10th, 2022, at the legendary venue of Red Rocks in Morrison, Colorado. Over 2 shows, it featured performances by Trey and Matt, Primus, Rush.
What's the best Rush record ever made?
We don't like Rush, actually.
Yeah. Really?
The best Rush record ever made will be their last record.
Yeah.
Whenever that comes out.
But you like the prog rock stuff, don't you? I mean, the real sort of heavy,
no, we were just talking 70s. About this. No, we have a fine appreciation for it, but we don't ever listen to it, ever.
And of course, Ween. Ween elected to play the Mollusk in Buckingham Green, with Gene, Claude, and Glenn also aiding Trey and Matt in performing It's Easy, Okay? From the South Park soundtrack. Surprisingly, Ween didn't play Homo Rainbow. I'd say it's because of the content of that song, but Trey and Matt played Gay Fish, so I don't know. It was 2 nights to remember. Just like a real-life Chef Aid, it was a star-studded event, and a celebration of everything the show had achieved over its 25 years on the air. As of 2025, South Park is still trucking along, and carries a consistent viewership without falling off a cliff in quality, the way The Simpsons or Family Guy did years ago, ensuring that possibly even for decades to come, people all over the world will be able to go on down to South Park and have themselves a time.
Hello, Kenny. Hello, Tim. What's happening? Where you been?
That makes sense? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not making any sense. None of this makes sense. And so you have to remember, when you're in that jury room deliberating and conjugating the Emancipation Proclamation, does it make sense? No. Ladies and gentlemen of this supposed jury, it does not make sense.